Anna Love podcast. I am your host, Anna Love. Wild and Free was born to inspire women to release old patterns that have kept them from living their best life. As a subconscious freedom specialist, I strive to reprogram and reframe generational trauma, not only in myself and the lives of my 3 daughters, but for those who are ready to transform anxiety, fear, and shame into authenticity, freedom, and love. Years old or 70 years young, buckle up for raw and honest explorations in doing the work necessary so that you may shine your brightest light from your heart and onto the lives of others. Welcome, friends, to Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am so excited to be here with you. Now, we are going to talk about state change a second time. We talked about it briefly in episode 2, but I'd like to give you an example of our what's called emotional freedom chart. Now, I didn't make this chart up. Lots of different people on the internet created this chart, and this is just one example. So once we understand that we are the master of our own state, we can practice how to create that state change in an instant using the emotional guidance chart. And I'll share this technique here and take you through the experience. So get ready for your mind and body to vibrate high. This is something that I learned actually the first time I had heard about it. I went to a Tony Robbins event, Life and Wealth in Fiji. And we spent a good amount of time doing this. And, really it showed me that in an instant, taking what I had taught you, the foundation of episode 2, where we take our focus, our language, and our physiology, and we use those 3 techniques to shift our emotions from one part of the chart to another part of the chart. So this chart, if you could picture a ladder, and at the very top of the ladder is freedom, there's love, there's bliss, there's joy, there's appreciation, there's happiness, there's empowerment. Let that be the top of, this chart. That's the highest you can go. And below that is passion. So underneath the top is passion, and then underneath that is enthusiasm and eagerness, right? So basically we're excited to learn about life. We have a zest for life. There's enthusiasm, there's eagerness to find out and learn and grow. Underneath that is optimism. So looking positively at something, right? Glass half full. Under that is, if you're looking at this like a ladder and we're going down, underneath that is hopefulness. Underneath hopefulness is contentment. And then all of a sudden the chart starts to shift from positive vibrations to that of lower vibrations. And let's just follow along. I'm just giving you a description of this one chart here. After that is boredom. Okay, so we go from contentment to boredom. And then from boredom is pessimism. And pessimism, right? The glass is now half empty. Underneath pessimism is frustration and irritation and impatience. Yeah? A lot of people living around there. At least I used to live down there a lot. Underneath that is overwhelm. Okay, I've also lived there a lot. Underneath overwhelm is disappointment. Yeah, are any of these words resonating? Underneath disappointment is doubt. Underneath doubt, you guessed it, worry. Underneath worry is blame. Underneath blame, discouragement. Underneath discouragement, anger. Underneath anger is revenge. Underneath revenge is hatred and rage. Just a few more. Keep going down, we get to jealousy. Underneath jealousy is insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. And finally, at the very, very bottom, fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. Now, I'm at the bottom of the chart now. For me, I like to talk a lot about either my life or my clients. For me, I was at the bottom of the chart for most of my life. And I'm 50, whereas at the time of this recording, I spent so much time in fear, so much time in powerlessness, so much time in insecurity and guilt and unworthiness, hatred or rage, so much time in discouragement or anger, worry and doubt, disappointment, overwhelm. So much time in impatience and irritation. So much time. So much wasted time. So much wasted time in pessimism and even boredom. My gosh, I want you to think about and reflect on if you've ever, even momentarily, been in a low vibration state, or if you've stayed in a low vibration state for many days, many months, many years. And I'm being very deliberate right now in going through each and every one of these emotions and taking time to pause, because I really want you to sit in it. To be honest, what I started to feel as I went down this chart, I didn't really feel anything until I got around the bottom. The unworthiness hit me, and the fear and the depression and the powerlessness. That was what I used to define myself. That was my identity. That was the language I used. That was the state I lived in. And when you are in those states, you are seeing everything through that lens, right? It's like putting on a pair of glasses of despair, of powerlessness. And it feels very hopeless. And I know that at the bottom is where depression lies. And when we are in a depressed state, we are at the bottom, the very, very bottom. So I want you to think about, if you were at the very, very bottom, it is nearly impossible and quite unrealistic to think that you are just going to immediately one day change your state and jump all the way up to the tippy top to freedom and joy and abundance and empowerment. Your nervous system doesn't know how to make that jump, right? I'm looking down at the chart, and that's 22 levels away from each other. So what's important is that we start to go up the chart. If we find ourselves at a low vibration, I don't care if you are in the middle and you're around doubt and worry, and there's always an up. Doesn't matter to me if you're at powerlessness and depression, there's always an up. And I like to say that when we are at rock bottom, it's actually, I like to find the silver lining. It's actually a good thing, because there's no more going down. There's no more going down those ladder rungs in that chart. When you're at the bottom, you want to start intentionally changing your state. And if you listen to episode 2, I teach you exactly how to change your state by changing your physiology, your focus, and your language. This episode is all about how to apply that rung by rung. If we're thinking of this as a ladder, you want to go upwards and onwards, even if it's just one step. So when I first learned of this, it took me a minute to really grasp that. Okay, so if I'm at powerlessness, why would I want to just go up one rung? Why would I want to go up to guilt and unworthiness? That doesn't feel good either. But guess what? It's up. It's up and out. And I'm a big believer that all you have to do is shift a tiny, I don't care if it's 1 millimeter, I don't care if it's one thought in a day that's different than the rest. When you think a positive thought, or you change your state and it brings you 1 millimeter out of that hole that you were in, maybe you're on the floor, feeling like you're on the floor, and you can at least lift your head. Guess what? That's an improvement. That's a shift. And shifts compound on one another. So if you can only muster up one thought, maybe you can only muster a shower. Maybe you can put clothes on but not makeup. Maybe you can smile at yourself in the mirror, but you can't smile in conversations. Yeah? If If you can just do one tiny shift, that is progress. And progress builds upon progress. I don't care what anybody says. One shift is the beginning or a domino effect, right? Things have to stack on one another. No one is expecting, or I don't know about no one, I'm not expecting, I'm not saying, I'm not suggesting that you are supposed to or even capable of jumping all the way up to the top, or even, from 22 all the way up to number 2. That's ridiculous. Also, it's a big ask. It's not logistically possible. And we take it day by day, moment by moment. I like to say moment by moment. And there was a time, I will give you something that just came into my mind when I was 23, 24. I broke up with someone who I'd been dating for 8 years. It's ridiculous. 16 years old, met someone and stayed very codependent until I was 24. And I was for those 8 years, in such a negative state. And it was actually looked like not frowned upon. It was the opposite. It was cool to be angry. It was the social, place that we lived. It was the music that we listened to. It was the vibration that we lived in. It was, one-upping one another for how bad things could be. And I just got so sick and tired of feeling bad. Like in my body, I was so sick of it. In my mind, it was a constant negative loop over and over and over. And I just said to myself, I have to stop. I had zero tools on how to stop. This is a tool I wish I had had back then. But what I had realized is that I joined a book club, and the books were hot, called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. There were a series of books, and I got the first one. It was all small stuff is what it was called. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. And I read it, and I started just shifting myself one page at a time. Every time I'd read the book, some things would resonate, some things would not, but at least I picked up the book. That was a tiny, tiny little step in the direction of going up. And I also told myself, I'm happy, even though I wasn't happy. I would say to myself every day, I'm happy. I'm happy. I created what now I understand to be a mantra. When you create a mantra, you are changing your language. So I told myself, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. So let's go ahead and practice this right now. I know that I'm not going to read them again. I named, and you can also Google this. I might even drop it in my show notes. But let's just say we are at number 15 is blame. Now let's go with 14. 14's a big one. 14's worry. Let's just say we're at worry and we want to go up and we don't know how to go up, and I'm looking above it, and above worry is doubt. And above doubt is disappointment, and above disappointment is overwhelm. Now, I want you to put yourself in a state of worry. If you're already there, then you're already there. Be in that state of worry. Feel worry in your body. Feel worry in your mind. Feel worry on your tongue. You can feel it coming out of your mouth. You're worrying, you're worrying, you're worrying. It's resonating in your body. It's going through your veins. It's what you permeate all around you. Your energy is worry. And I want you to go up. I want you to think about, let's just go up one for now, just to show you can do this. I want you to go from worry to doubt. I want you to put yourself in a state of doubt. So I want you to start doubting. I know this sounds so ridiculous. I want you to start doubting things. I want you to let go of worry, and I want you to change your focus to doubt. I want you to change your state to doubt. What does doubt feel like in your body? What does it feel like in your mind? What does it feel like in your energy? Where in your body do you feel doubt? Can you make it bigger? Can you turn up the volume? Can you hear doubt? Can you taste doubt? Now you are in doubt. You're not in worry anymore. You've let worry go. You're in doubt. Okay, now be in doubt, and I want you to start shaking your body around. I want you to start moving your body around, and I want you to go up one more. I want you to go up to disappointment. We're going to release doubt, and I want you to shift into disappointment. Please, right now, be disappointed. Bring on the emotion of disappointment. Follow along with me. Be with me. Bring on that disappointment in your body, in your thoughts, in your energy. Turn it up as high as you can. How does it feel to be disappointed? Picture something that you are disappointed in. Makes you so disappointed. Now, where is worry? Where is doubt? Yeah, you probably don't feel them because you're not focusing on it. You're changing your state. You're shifting your emotions. You're going up the ladder. And again, you're still in a negative. You're at the bottom, lower level of this chart. You're still in a negative state. But you are that much further away from the bottom where we're in despair and where we're on the floor, where there's nowhere to go but down. You've now moved yourself from a level of where we started in this little experiment, a level of 14, and you've moved yourself up into 12. You're that much closer to joy, to empowerment, to freedom, to love, to connection, to happiness. That's how this works. So no matter what is going on in your world, just know you can move up, even if it's one rung at a time, even if it's from a negative state to another negative state. There is such a thing as this emotional frequency, and you're bringing yourself up, 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 up. And when you practice this several times a day, practice this several times a day, so you get so good and so refined at changing your state. I'm going to drop this in the show notes so that you can practice this several times a day, and I'd love to hear some feedback, how this is working out for you. I hope this helped. I love you all so much. Until next time. Join me for a free transformative masterclass where I'll guide you to design your dream life. You will learn about your unique blueprint and how to shift your reality. Ready to take the next step in designing a life you love? The Life Design Blueprint membership is your all-access pass to exclusive tools, live guidance, and transformational support to help you move from self-doubt to self-worth. Building on the principles from the Design a Life That Lights You Up ebook, this membership is a deeper dive into creating a life that aligns with who you truly are. You will go beyond surface level self-help with hypnotic techniques and live discussions that create real lasting change in your mindset and life. You will receive ongoing support from me and connect with a community of like-minded women on a similar journey. Each week, I deliver an empowering hypnosis which offers a unique way of working with your subconscious to reframe limiting beliefs, elevate self-worth, and reinforce positive habits. All of our sessions will be recorded and added to our on-demand library for easy access to members. Join me by clicking the link below, and I'll see you on the inside. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Wild and Free with Anna Love and being a part of this magical journey with me. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and share with someone you love, even someone you just like. Bonus points if you leave a review. Show notes below gives you everything that you'll need to know, and I'll see you next time. So long for now.